up to the boys. Fox and Shane, set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50-50, we cold as ice. One thing cold, but a penny turn red. Can't let that shit get in my head, war gaming.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Hobby Homies. We are your weekly tabletop podcast. I am Shane, hanging out with Fox.
Hey, what's up?
And of course, we have Churchy.
In the void.
Today, we are going to be kicking back and just shooting a bit of shit, talking about our recent trip to Sydney.
Yes. Yeah, we're just going to do our thing. I just thought how wild it is. I don't know. I think I just had like an epiphany or a lightning bolt struck me. But you said, we are your weekly tabletop podcast. And I thought to myself, who on earth would make a weekly tabletop podcast?
That's us, baby.
And here we are. So we went to Sydney.
Yep. Caught up some homies down up in Sydney.
What'd you say? Claps?
Caught up with some homies.
I said clapped some homies.
Clapped, got clapped.
Yeah. Got the clap. Yeah. We caught up with some homies in Sydney.
Yep.
We saw Griddy, Rad, MJ.
Yep.
Wait, are we thanking our patrons or talking about our homies? Cosmo, Claire.
Mrs. Griddy.
Yep. Yeah. Who else did we see? We saw the people at the coffee shop near Griddy's house.
Yeah,
a few times.
Yep. A couple of times.
Saw them a couple of times.
Yep. Can't remember what the coffee shop's called, but shout out to those guys.
Yeah, if you're listening.
Combat Company.
Yes.
Went and paid a visit to Combat Company.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm so excited. I can't even get my words out.
Wow, I've never seen you so excited,
Very
actually.
caffeinated this morning.
Yeah.
Thank you for this dandy.
Oh, yeah. You're welcome. This is what we're doing, right? So I've got Monster Energy Drink and you've got Rockstar.
Yep.
And we'll blur out whichever ones don't sponsor us. So
Yep.
You'll most likely be looking at two blurred cans.
We ain't getting any sponsorships.
Yeah. And so all we did is we just hung out with some homies, enjoyed our time in Sydney and played some games.
Oh, yeah. I was actually surprised we got some games in because of our schedule was chockers. We flew in, but before we give them a rundown of the weekend,
Sure.
I almost didn't make it.
Oh.
So
Wait, what?
yeah. So whenever I go away or whatever with my wife, she organises everything, right? She knows where we're staying. She knows where we're getting connecting flights or whatever, right?
Yep.
And there's a reason that she books the flights.
Oh, dear.
I booked the wrong weekend. I booked the weekend before we went away.
Oh, no.
And I got an email saying it's time to check in. And I'm like, it's a bit early, but okay, cool.
I don't know. You could check in a week in advance.
and then I checked the dates and I was just like, it was just like, I was like, okay, all right, what can we do here? So I rang Caitlin. I'm like, please help me.
Oh, no.
Please. She's working from home. She's just laughing at me. I'm just like, okay, yes, this is hilarious, but please, right now, I'm panicking.
Yeah, so what happens?
So
Panicking Skywalker.
Panic. So she rang. She's like, okay, she's gonna. I booked through like Webjet or something, right?
Okay,
she's like, that makes it hard.
Yeah.
So anyway, she rang like Jetstar and managed to shuffle everything around, and then they had to ring me and they said someone on your behalf is changing your flights. Is that okay? And I'm like, yes.
You're like, in hindsight, it should never have been me to begin with.
Exactly. It's like, why was I tasked with this responsibility?
Yeah, it's too much.
So she organised all that, and like I was at a point where I'm like, if rescheduling my flights is going to cost too much, I'm just going to buy new flights and not utter a word to anybody.
Right. So you intended fully to never have this conversation out of sheer embarrassment. So I guess it all went well and you're able to...
Yeah. I'm thoroughly embarrassed. And that's fine because it didn't cost me anything extra.
That's good. That's good. So they moved your flights for free.
Well,
they pitied you.
They did. They pitied me very hard. But we had a voucher from when we were in New Zealand at the very start of 2020. We got shipped home early because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And we got like a voucher or something, right? It was like $120 or something like that.
Yeah.
And like I got one for like $7 or something like that. Caitlin's one was, I don't know, she got a good return.
Yeah.
I didn't. Anyway.
Well, you got $7.
Yeah. From
bad.
Jetstar. Thanks, Jetstar.
Thanks, Jetstar.
So it costs like, $120 to like change the date. So Caitlin just used that voucher.
So it didn't cost you any money, except for the voucher you could have actually just originally used to buy the flights, which would have involved Caitlin, which would have meant you were going on the right weekend and saved heaps more money.
Could have saved $120.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
free voucher.
You could have saved $240, I think.
Technically, that's how maths works. But anyway,
Yeah.
we avoided it. Crisis averted.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess.
I'm not booking my own flights ever again.
Yeah, that's fair. I think what you've done is an important step in the right direction, which is removing more and more responsibility from yourself as an adult who cannot function in a regular society by themselves.
No, that's you're exactly right.
So that's a clap for Shane.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
a win.
you.
That's a win for all of us, really. Because now we know when we book an event, you'll be there as long as Caitlin.
As long as Caitlin's booked
Yeah.
it, yeah. I mean, as long as I'm not traveling. Like if I'm driving there, oh, maybe half an hour late.
Yeah, but that's expected.
Yeah. But
Unless
fine,
you leave
man.
on the
That's a
wrong
different
weekend.
story.
Yeah.
yeah. I wasn't even on
Wow.
a flight to start with, all right?
Yeah, you were going to drive 10 hours.
That was a
Probably
stupid
on the
idea.
wrong weekend. Probably to the wrong location.
Probably. Like, hey, I'm in Brisbane. It's like, oh, a bit too far.
Yeah, a bit too far. Come back.
Yeah.
We waved on you on your way past. Yeah, wow, dude,
Yeah.
that's crazy. I'm speechless. It's not like the dates were like floated or changed or anything. It was pretty.
in my pure excitement, I just booked the wrong date.
I think secretly you were hoping maybe everyone can move it forward a week and I can get to this event quicker. Maybe
True.
subconsciously.
Maybe.
But we did get there. You were
did get
there.
there.
We caught the same flight up
Yep.
before the bird song.
Yes, it was very early in the morning. We picked you up from the corner, which was strange, at about 4:45.
Yeah, it was strange and cold at that hour of the morning. It was
I
me
could
standing there
imagine.
on the corner.
Yep.
I've stood on that corner many a times for different reasons.
Yep.
But usually I'm dressed head to toe in like work gear, so like a button-up shirt and slacks and nice
okay.
shoes. And it's a strange situation.
Yeah.
I felt underdressed standing on the corner.
I can imagine.
For you.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you arrived eventually on the right weekend and collected me. But that's because Caitlin was driving.
She was driving. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
And yeah, Combat Company was that's sort of like the first thing we did.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
We got in. We met up with Griddy. He picked us up. He chauffeured us the whole weekend. So an absolute
Wasn't a lad.
legend.
Wasn't a lad.
And we stayed at his place.
Yes, thank
Without
you.
him, we would have been homeless
Yeah.
and without transport.
Well, I was kind of looking forward to the challenges that would have presented. I
Okay.
think it would have made some good content.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
why we
sure.
didn't film anything because everything went so well.
So smoothly.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, Combat Company first up.
Which is great.
Didn't know what we were expecting when we were driving there. We're going through like this industrial estate, and then like it's just a driveway and it's like just sheds,
Yeah.
an old caravan, no signage.
And then at one point, yeah, Griddy just sort of turned up in between the gap of two sheds.
Yeah.
And we made a joke that this is
Where we die.
this is where we die. All those times our wives have said, "Are you sure it's safe to meet these strangers from the internet?"
You're meeting up with random people.
And we said, "Yeah, of course. This is 2023. It's the real people. It's not bots. It's not AI yet."
No.
And then we thought we were wrong.
Yeah. We're like, yep, this is it.
And then even when you get there,
What a way to go though.
yeah, thinking you're going to go to the hobby farm, basically.
Like Old Yeller.
Yeah. We got stars in our eyes thinking about hobby on our way out. That's how I want to go.
Yep.
Or being crushed by a pile of my own sprues.
That'd be a good way to go.
Yeah, either way.
Yep.
Either way.
Yep.
And then as my dying breath, I'll be like, "See, this is why I sell shit." Just to prove everyone wrong.
True. Yeah. Of course.
But of course.
You're a martyr.
Yeah, I'm a martyr. There'll be big annual yearly sales in my name. People will be selling their hobbies for the Fox Flash sale. So, martyrdom aside, even when you get there, though, it's like there's no grand sign that says
No.
Combat Company, not even above a roller door. So you're like,
No.
"Oh, it's that one."
I didn't even see like a stock standard like factory sign.
No, we just kind of followed Griddy through a door that might have had an A4 printout that
Yeah.
said Combat Company, maybe.
Yeah, in like cut out from like a newspaper with like different letters.
Yeah, like a ransom note.
Like a ransom note,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, so it kind of felt like right until we stepped inside, it was all a ruse to get us into this shed.
Yep. But holy crap, when we went in there, we came around the little corner at the front and it was just like bang, just like shelves, like from floor to ceiling. And this is like a shed, like a warehouse. So
Yeah.
it ain't no like, normal 6 or 8 foot ceiling, whatever they are.
No. Imagine a 6-foot ceiling scraping your head. That's why everyone's balding. Everyone's scraping their heads and everything.
We are hobbyists.
Yeah.
I think most of us are balding.
Yeah. Molding. Have you heard of that?
Molding?
Yeah. That's when you're bald but angry. So you're mad and you're bald. So you're molding.
Never heard of that before in my life.
Well, it's because you're not angry.
I mean, if I was balding, I'd be pretty angry.
Wait, I don't think so.
No?
You seen Bruce Willis?
Yeah.
Dude's a stud.
True.
He'd look horrible with hair. He does look horrible with hair. I've seen it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Fair.
you're more of a Bruce Willis.
Okay. Thank
Look
you.
horrible with hair. Anyways, what was the point of the story?
Just so much hobby. Like,
Yeah.
more hobby in this joint than in a games workshop. Workshop. What am I saying?
And that concludes the
You
episode.
can take over. Put me on mute. I can't talk.
Put me in, coach. The microphone returned to Shane like he
It
used
always
the
comes
force.
back.
Yeah, and now that the more I think about it, this would be a really cool story if this is like a split reality, right? So Griddy was actually trying to murder us.
Yeah.
And so we walked into the shed that had the hobby sign, and then he hit us over the back of the head.
Yeah.
And everything we've experienced from then on has been heaven.
Oh.
Because we walked into a hub, and we spent a weekend
Yeah,
in
but
Sydney playing hobby.
We wouldn't have left though if it was heaven. Maybe
We were
it's
never meant to be
hell.
there for that long. We just had a trial run.
Okay. Yeah.
They're
yeah.
like, this is what it would have been like if you had been good hobby boys. But alas, back to work with you.
Yep.
Yeah. Combat Company was awesome because, it had Games workshops
Yep.
all over one wall. And then it had like really, I wouldn't say they're niche games. It had a couple niche games.
Yeah. It had plenty of Infinity.
Yeah.
Some Batman game I never heard of before.
Yep. But I think the thing it did differently is, although it would have Star Wars Legion, for example,
Yep.
it had like Star Wars Legion.
Oh, yeah.
And if
Yeah,
it had an Infinity, it had Infinity. Like,
Yep.
it had these games you might see a small range in a store. It would have like a shelf of them.
They were balls to the wall in everything they stocked.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Like,
was
even
male
like-
predominantly males
It
in the
was.
store.
That's right.
Yeah.
Even like the gamers grass stuff. They didn't just have like half a dozen like packets of grass. They had like every single type you can imagine.
They didn't have gamers grass. They had gamers paddocks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just meadows of grass.
just meadows.
Yep.
Game of meadows.
Yep.
Exactly. Game of farms.
Heaps of stuff. Like they even had some like Elder Scrolls miniatures.
Yep.
And yeah.
A cool clearance bin type rack thing.
Which some things weren't.
Yeah, which was
Produced.
interesting. It was like, hey, is this $5 or is it 63?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Turns out it's 63.
Yeah, what a rip. I love that you bought something from the clearance rack because you're like, I'll get something on clearance.
Yeah,
Is
and
it-
I'm like, they had no prices on them to start with, so I was like, well, they're retailing at like $59.
so
So sure, if
It's-
it's 50%, that's still all right.
yeah,
you know?
$25 for a couple of minis.
Yeah.
Fine. You take it to the counter and it's above retail. But you don't want to cause a scene. So you spend your $62 and walk out with your abstract Elder Scrolls 5 miniatures.
Stormcloak Chieftains. Churchy, do you know what that is? I don't know what that is.
Well, Stormcloaks are like the Nord rebellion guys.
Cool.
In Skyrim.
Cool.
There you go.
I got some of them. Got 5 of them.
Yeah, you want some? $60.
yeah.
Just take the loss. Take the loss. How about $60 and a $7 Jetstar voucher?
Nah.
Yeah, smart. See, it's not worth it, is it? Don't make a scene, Churchy. Just buy it. I hope you use those, but I know that you never will. So that's
Yeah.
good.
Probably.
But yeah, it was great. I didn't realize you could also play games there too. So they had
man.
tons of tables, people rolling dice.
Next time we have to like play some games there.
Yeah, it was sweet. Like
Yep.
looking at people's armies. Some dude had like these knights that he'd used color shift on
Yep.
in the main metallics, and I thought those looked very pretty. Everyone using painted armies, which is wild to me. So it was
True.
a great place. It was hobby heaven.
Yep. Yep.
A great name for it too, Combat Company.
That's what they do.
That's what they do.
They deal in combat.
Yeah. Sure, it's tabletop combat for the least likely combatants you would ever find,
Yep.
but it's accurate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we got inspired and we played some games.
We did. Played some one-page rules.
Yes.
We saw Griddy's impressive collection. Got
Yes.
so many minis. So many
Does.
painted minis.
Yeah. And like nice little bite-sized armies.
They really were. Yeah. Yeah. Like solid like 500 points, 40k armies. You
Yeah.
know, which equates to like 1,000 points on page rules.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So yeah,
Which is perfect because we're all just like, well, let's just rock up, and let's pick an army of Griddies, each,
yeah.
and play with fully painted armies.
Which you had like Death Guard, Kroot, Necrons, Blood Angels, Ultramarines, Dark Eldar, Leagues of Votan, and more. That was like, was that 10?
Yeah.
More. He's got more.
Basically, what this studio needs to be able to function as pumping out constant battle reports is we just need Griddy's collection. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's a great way to do it too, like, because he just goes, I'll get a combat patrol or 500 points roughly, paint it up and play Crusade, whatever with it. And if he enjoys painting it or likes it, he'll add a bit more and add a bit more and add a bit more.
Yep.
But I don't think he typically goes over 1,000 points, I don't think. Looking at
His
most
Blood
of his
Angels
armies.
definitely was.
Oh, yeah, and his Death Guard.
And his Necrons.
Okay, there you go.
Well, that's 3 out of 10. The rest
That
of
ain't
them,
bad.
The rest of them were
Yeah.
much smaller.
So that's a good way of doing it. You got a
Yeah,
handful
yeah.
of like full-size 40k armies, but then you got smaller
Yeah.
combat, which is actually really good because like the new edition's focusing on making combat patrol an actual playable thing. So that's going to be nice for him. So yeah, we played one game. It was like a 2v2.
Yep.
It was me and Rad
Yep.
versus you and Griddy.
Yeah. Yep.
And that was cool. And we started to get our vibe, and then Rad was like, "Yeah, I gotta go."
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, okay." And then
Bye.
bye. He just deep striked in some Terminators.
Yeah, just ruined Griddy's bikers, and he's like, I'm out.
Yeah. I was like, anyways,
My job
I'll
here
leave
is
on
done.
that.
Yeah. Yep.
And I sort of assessed the situation. I went, I think I could take both of you. After he did that, if you give me a couple more Kroot, I think I can 1v2 you guys.
Yep.
And then I realized I couldn't.
Nah.
And then I realized I couldn't.
It was a really interesting matchup because, like, I was playing as the Dark Eldar.
Yeah.
I can't remember what they're called in one page rules. Not that.
Dark and Elven.
Dark Elves or something.
Yeah.
And they were like, it was an interesting play style because it was mostly melee. Very glass cannony. Like they could do some damage on the charge.
Yeah.
But they couldn't take the damage back.
Yeah.
So it was like, I don't know, man. I reckon Griddy would have carried our team had we have continued that 1v2.
Yeah.
But Rad's Terminators just minced. They were insane.
They were
Absolutely
really
insane.
Really, really good.
Yeah. What are they called? One page rules? Destroyers with energy claws, I think.
I loved, which is effectively the lightning claws.
Yeah.
And I loved the banter between Rad and Griddy because Griddy is such a WYSIWYG purist. So if he makes a list of his 40k stuff, he'll be like, all right, what does my stuff have? Like, what is it armed with?
Yep.
Because I'll make that list.
Yep.
Not like, oh, I want to try this cool stuff. This guy counts as having this.
Yeah.
Whereas you got the exact opposite
Yep.
with Rad, who's just like, all right, I'll build my list. All right, these Terminators are what I've got written here.
Yep.
And both are completely valid play
Yeah,
styles.
absolutely.
A lot of people are just like, me, I'm just like, if you just tell me what your squad's got,
Yep.
I mean, I'm going to look at it and I'm not even going to know anyway.
No,
So
and you'll probably forget.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
it's like, just say, hey, these guys, they're armed with, like, bolters, but they're actually got energy claws.
Yeah. And I'll be like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah, whatever that means.
But that's not how Griddy plays.
Nah.
And he would not let Rad. He's like, oh, nice lightning claws. It's a weird looking lightning claws. I think I heard the word lightning claws more than you guys heard the words hybrid
It
metamorphs.
lost all meaning.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah. So, no, it was good. It was a great game. It was fun back and forth too because it was like, I feel like I pushed up with some Kroot hounds and obliterated one of your squad of witches.
Oh, really? Yeah, absolutely.
And I was like, okay, so my hounds are insane.
Yeah.
And then you guys hit back, and I can't remember what you did, but I think you smacked. Yeah. So I think Griddy's bikers smacked a bunch of Rad's maybe normal Space Marines.
Yeah, Chaos Marines. Yeah. Havoc Brothers.
Havoc Brothers. Sorry.
Yep.
You'll have to translate.
I'll try.
My 40k speak into one page rule speak, and then we hit back with the deep striking Destroyer
Which
Brothers.
I think we played wrong. Destroyer Brothers.
Yeah, Destroyer Brothers, or whatever they're called. Havoc Destroyers.
Destroyers, yeah.
Just
Havoc
make shit
Destroyers.
up.
Yeah.
And
there.
Yeah, which we did play wrong because it's supposed to happen at the start of the turn.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We would have just made that our first move in theory.
Which gives them a chance to be shot at before they charge. But then, yeah, you would have done it first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and then you guys hit back.
Yep.
And so it was a great like little back and forth for that sample couple turns we played before Rad smoke bombed us. What's the ninja bomb? Is that a smoke bomb when the ninjas hit the goal?
Yeah.
That's a smoke bomb.
Yeah, smoke bomb. Yeah.
And then he was gone.
Yeah.
And so
Pop and smoke.
And so we had a bit of a replay later on.
We did. Yeah.
We had a 3-way.
We had a great 3-way.
It was enjoyable for all. I played Kroot again because I was like, okay, I don't get an opportunity to play a fully painted Kroot army.
Using the Jackal rules.
Yeah. Which is interesting because, like, in one-page rules, usually the 40k equivalent has a like for like.
Yep.
Whereas Jackals to Kroot is more of a similar, more of a proxy type thing because they've made their own Jackal models.
Yeah, and they've obviously been inspired by Kroot in a way,
for sure.
But like they've expanded upon what Kroot have.
Yeah.
You've got twice as much stuff as what if you had a like for like Kroot army could make.
Exactly. Like
so you've got more options.
Way more options. And I think I should have leaned into that a bit more, but I just was like, I'll just play them as they are.
Yeah. Like you didn't give anyone special weapons.
No.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool now with the new Kroot models. You could sort of say this heavy weapon is like, because the Jackals have rocket launchers.
Yeah.
Whereas, Kroot have nothing like that. But if you're holding a big heavy weapon, you could be like, well, this is a rocket launcher equivalent, or whatever. So it's a bit more flexibility there. You could also mix and match the two quite easily if you wanted to bring some of the bigger creatures, or if you could print a Narlock or whatever. So yeah, it's more of a like for like. I definitely could have just done something like I said, this squad of 5 are snipers.
Yep.
And then they've got just to change it up and give me some more variation. But yeah, it was good fun. It was awesome. The 3-way went well. Mm-hmm. I think I was very aggressive with my hounds because in my head I was just like, these things just wipe stuff out. And then I think you blasted one squad away, and then one actually made it to Griddy and did nothing.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, no. They're good against little squads of like bad save troop. Yeah.
Lighter infantry. Yeah. You were charging like I was playing with the Prime Brothers.
Yeah.
With a 2-up defense. Yeah. So like without AP, you're not getting through that.
Exactly. So I charged your Prime Brothers and I charged a Wraith Knight over the other side. And the hounds did not last long. And they were basically half my army in points. So
yeah. Yep.
But yeah, no, it was good fun watching. But I basically became a spectator to watching you and Griddy in that game.
Spectator. I got tabled.
Yeah, I know, and I watched it.
True.
I watched the whole thing.
Because me and Griddy, because you were in the middle, and so we were both on either end.
Yeah.
And we sort of started like naturally going towards the middle, which meant where you were, and you're like, hey guys, you can fight each other too,
Yeah. I think at the end of turn 1, I was like, guys, I don't know if you know, maybe I explained it wrong, but this is actually a free-for-all, not a 2v1.
Yeah.
This isn't the last game we played. This is a new one.
Yeah, and then like I was like, okay, yeah, you're right.
No, but I jested because I understood what I had done, which was I had thrown my stuff at both of you.
It naturally happens.
And forced you to shoot those things.
Yeah. Being in the middle, it naturally happens. I'm pretty sure the role's been reversed when we've played before, maybe with Churchy, and like I've been there and I've just like copped it on both ends.
Yeah. What was weird though, we made a triangle, so like technically, and we measured, we were all 30 inches from each other.
Yeah, but you were in the middle.
That's because I did draw the most attention to myself. Exactly. I'll say that much.
You said the most stuff.
Yeah.
And then like right. So I sent like a couple of things toward Griddy. And he just came bloody like powering in with his Wraith Knight. And
once he dispatched of my hounds. Yeah. And I also love that the whole time Griddy was like complaining that Rad had brought 5 Terminators and a big Dreadnought to a small game of 1-page rules. and then he brought 5 Wraith Knights and a Wraith Lord or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And we're like, and worse than that, then he bought a War Walker. I'm like, you bought as few units as you could.
Yep.
You are rad. You are rad.
The game definitely favors, like, if you were playing, like, an elite force with, like, like a Dreadnought and some Terminators, you are going to win most of the time.
Yeah, for sure.
Except for maybe on objectives. we were playing with sticky objectives because like we had sort of a few unit count.
Yeah.
So like once you had the objective, you could leave it.
Yeah.
And then and you still get points for it as long as it doesn't become captured by someone else.
Yeah.
Which was a good way to play it, I think, our way.
Yeah.
If it was a bigger game with more units, I would like an objective where you have to stay on it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
And I think, it's good to make that decision either before you list build.
Yep.
Because if we had said, no, it's not sticky objectives, then you guys you had few unit counts, both of you, would have just been like, oh, well, that sucks because then like I can only use maybe 1 or 2 units because the other one's going to sit back and do nothing.
Yeah, hang on the objective.
So it was good we played sticky. But yeah, and I think those elite armies like that Rad and Griddy brought, not us, we're not tryhards like those guys, just out here trying to have a good time. They're really favoured, like you said, but also more so in like a 1,000-point game.
Yep.
Because you haven't had enough points to really make a more well-rounded force.
Yeah.
Like if you're bringing 2,000 points of one-page rules, you've got something in there to deal with heavy armor. Like I lacked high damage. I had no deadly weapons.
Yeah.
So, and if I did, it was low AP and like I just couldn't deal with it. But yeah.
Yeah. You're against an army like that, you really need deadly and at least like AP 2.
Yeah. Sure.
Putting those 2 up to a 4 up save.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So yeah, it was awesome. It was good fun. And like even when you're playing a less balanced game, like just little moments where like he's got this big war walker just trying to like skirt all the way around the edges. We gave him the bitch medallion.
Yeah, it was the bitch medallion.
Yeah, for being the least
bitch.
enthusiastic to get into the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
And then I had like 2 little Kroot carnivores who were trying to run the gauntlet because I knew you guys only had 3 units.
Yep.
And I knew none of you would waste an activation killing 2 Kroot carnivores. So I was like, I could get them to the other corner of the table. And that's a win for me. I was playing my own game by then. But you both actually had things where you're like, all right, I'll shoot the bulk of my weapons into them, and then I got a couple little pistol shots that I'll shoot at your things. And I'm just like, come on, guys, let them get across the table. They didn't make it.
Oh man, I was spewing when I cast one of my psychic powers. I could target 2 enemy units. I sent one at Griddy, and I was like, I'm going to send the other one at you.
Yeah.
And I failed the roll, and I was like, ah.
And I was like, yes, I'm going to make it. I didn't. I felt the full weight of Griddy's revenge.
Yeah, didn't he charge you or something?
He did something, something silly.
Yeah.
Something silly. Yeah. It was good though. It was good fun.
Oh, great weekend. And then after that, what did we do? We played some Pandemic board game, which was a lot of fun.
I'll be honest, I don't really remember.
Yeah. And then we went to a brewery.
Yeah, I don't remember that either. We did play Pandemic. That was good fun.
Yeah.
First time was the first time too easy and the second time too hard?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good.
That happened.
That did happen.
Yeah. And forward up the second day, we went into town and we went to like a games workshop.
Oh yeah. I bought some new shoes.
You got some new shoes
because everyone was paying me out for my old crappy shoes.
Yep. Now you have a sole.
Thank you, Patreon.
Yep.
For my new shoes. Now you don't have to look at my toes or garbage shoes. I also have watermelon socks.
Hey, they're kind of cool.
Thank you, patrons.
They didn't buy those.
No, they didn't.
Your wife bought you those socks.
That's true. It was a Christmas present.
Yep. Sometimes, like for Christmas, all I want is like socks and jocks.
Yeah, no, I think these were a Christmas present. To be honest, I found them in my drawer just before this with the like thing still on them,
Like the ribbon.
like the cardboard thing at the top.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I was like, feels like good podcast socks. A couple
new
watermelons
socks.
because we're trying to deliver fresh content all the time. So
Nothing's fresher than a watermelon.
no one is fresher than a watermelon. Not even Will Smith.
True. Never mind. Oh,
Jesus! Good catch.
Thank you.
Good catch.
Thank you.
This episode brought
My
to you
job
by
here is
Stickum. Shane's Sticky Fingers.
After that, we went into a pub. Oh, we got some ramen.
Yeah, we did. Delicious ramen. Yeah. Oh, hey, speaking of ramen, I wanted to quickly talk about, it's a segue.
Nothing better than a ramen segue.
You've been seeing all the Star Wars Shatterpoint stuff?
No.
You reminded me of it at the pub because MJ said she pre-ordered the Star Wars Shatterpoint thing.
True.
I was like, yeah, let's see where Shatterpoint's at because it keeps popping up on all my feeds because I'm just on everything.
Yeah. You are on everything.
And because our biggest problem with Legion was when it started. What'd you say?
Nothing, bro.
Yeah, okay. Was that it didn't have
spill it on the chair?
it didn't have enough options. No, I don't think so, man.
Cool. Thank goodness.
You know, okay, it launched with Rebels and Empire,
Yeah, yeah.
and then after ages, then it was still only
4 factions.
4 factions.
Clones and droids.
Yeah, yeah,
It's just hard for me to break the dynamic of having rebels fighting clones.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
rebels fighting droids.
Yeah,
You know? Like,
yeah.
it's just like the timeline's wrong.
yeah.
You know, it's like
You guys are wrong.
it's like World War One Germans fighting World War Two British.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
there's years apart.
Yeah.
The technology's different.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Maybe that's my problem.
I mean, it is. So I was like, well, I'm excited to hear, like, Shatterpoint was originally coming out with a few things, but after Adepticon most recently, I'm going to rattle off all the sets they've announced.
Cool.
And some of them will be there day one, some of them
Yep.
will be a couple of weeks after, months after. But, you know, all of this within the first 6 months of this game will be out and playable. Now, for those listening who don't know, Star Wars Shatterpoint's more of a... I mean, I actually don't know either, but it looks like it's a Marvel Crisis Protocols Star Wars edition.
Okay, so it's like heroes
Yeah,
fighting each other.
effectively, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still definitely, like, chaff.
Yeah, yeah.
But you're using, say, 3 to 7 models.
Yeah.
As opposed to, you know, it's like skirmish size focused on the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
And and it's centered around the heroes.
Yeah.
So far that everything that's been announced so far is this, maybe a couple other things that I didn't pick up. But you get one set's Dooku with Magna Guard. So Count Dooku, some Magna Guard. That's sweet. Obi-Wan with some clones. Dope.
Yep.
Anakin and Ahsoka with Mandos and clones.
Oh, yeah.
Grievous with super battle droids. There's a set with Maul, Asajj Ventress, and a few others. There's Mace Windu and some clones. There's Cad Bane with some bounty hunters. There's Padme and her royal court. There's the Return of the Jedi set, which is awesome because it's R2-D2 serving drinks at the cantina. It's Princess Leia in that, you know, that disguise when Han thaws out.
Yeah, yeah.
The Boosh disguise where she's got the thing and the weird voice.
Yeah, yeah.
It's her in that.
Yep.
Maul and Asajj Ventress set. I already said that. Ewoks. Naturally, Ewoks are happening.
Nice.
Inquisitors
Oh, yeah.
of a few different types.
That's cool.
Yeah. Inferno Squad, Han Solo pack,
That my boy
Mandalorian.
Vader.
Oh, Vader will be there.
Yeah, yeah. Good.
Yeah, Vader will be there.
I hope so.
And so all that stuff, and the game's not even out yet.
Yeah, yeah.
So already it feels like if you went to a tournament and you're playing 10 people, it's very likely that these 10 people are going to have completely different, whatever you call them,
Lists.
lists. Yeah.
That's the term.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, like, if you're playing as...
Don't know.
Yeah, what's the point even asking?
Yeah, no, but
no
go,
one
go,
knows.
ask,
Who knows?
ask,
No one
ask,
knows.
ask.
I want to know, like, can you swap up your heroes as to, like, what chaff they have with them? You know, does it have to be Obi-Wan and clones, or can it be Obi-Wan with Mandos?
Yeah. Look, I don't know, because people told me different stuff earlier on than they are saying now. I don't know what they're saying now. But originally it was thought that it was like, you can kind of bring anything, but sticking within their themes is
And their
better.
faction?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So now I don't know if it's going to be you can bring anything.
Yeah, yeah, probably
you know,
not.
like Ewoks with Vader. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Imagine that.
Imagine though.
That'd be sick.
But like if you're already breaking, like you said, the law.
Yeah.
You know, in a lot of these battles, you're going to be breaking the law.
Yeah, yeah.
You're going to be committing crimes. You're breaking the law.
Horrendous crimes.
So why not at that point just be like Vader with Ewoks and then Warhammer lore it and be like, well, this is like Vader went to wherever earlier and there was some Ewoks on that planet too that he made friends with, and now they're fighting Anakin, which is himself in one of those dreams that Luke Skywalker has.
It's a dream from Dagobah?
Yeah. He's fighting himself with Anakin and some droids.
Oh, dude, as a kid, that scene when Luke chops off Vader's head and the mask just goes, and then that's his face there.
Yeah.
That fucking terrified me when I was a child.
Yeah.
I still have nightmares.
Still have nightmares about it. Yeah, I had one just before I got it. Yeah, about that exact thing. So, man, I was blown away by all the stuff that's coming out with that. I'm super excited at the breadth of the game. There's actually a really good... First of all, there's a good YouTuber that covers all the Star Wars stuff. Crabok.
Crabok?
Crab, like the animal.
Yep.
And then B-O-K.
Oh, Crabbok.
But all one word.
Krabok.
That's what I said.
Krabok.
Krabok. Krabok. Okay. So check out Krabok.
Him. Yeah.
And there was another cool thing that you can do. Like and subscribe to this channel.
to him.
For infrequent. To him as a good YouTuber. Go check it out. Go support good YouTubers.
Also us. If you feel like it.
If you pity Shane, like the people at Jetstar or Webjet or whatever.
Webjet. Both actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you sure I didn't spill on this chair?
I think you're rubbing the cold steel.
Oh, okay.
And wondering if you spilt liquid on it.
Maybe.
I don't know. I can't see.
Good.
It's quite dark.
If you can't see, they can't see.
Exactly. Watch the comments. You did spill. I could see it. 14 minutes, frame one. Yeah. So I'm excited.
Shatterpoint. So you're getting into it.
Well, I mean, I'm just cautious. Like I'm just waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just keeping it in front of me.
Yeah.
Trying to make an educated decision about how much money I'll spend on it.
Okay. Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
Much or very much?
There's no gin yet. So.
What if they don't bring one?
If they said to me now we're never releasing Gin Urso, my thoughts on the game changes entirely.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see. They'd have to.
Chewie.
Yeah, Chewie will be there.
Has to be.
I mean, I don't care, but
or other Wookiees.
Yeah, I think maybe I get confused because I've seen some stuff from Legion, like they're releasing Genoceans.
Genoceans.
Yeah. Awesome.
Gin Oceans.
Gin Oceans. That's Frank Ocean's cousin, Gin. Yeah. Gin Ocean.
But he releases some sweet beats.
Oh no. Anyway, so that was our weekend. That's Star Wars Shatterpoint.
Yeah.
Let us know what your favourite parts of our weekend were.
Hey, you left early.
Did I?
I kept playing with Griddy.
Oh, you did? Tell me about that.
Played 2 games in one night. That's unheard of.
Yeah. Apart from the previous night where we played 1.5 games, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about them.
We just played like small 1,000 point games with his Short Kings.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And I played as the Blood Angels or the Prime Brothers. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
So game 1 was him playing Short Kings.
Yep.
You playing
Prime Brothers.
Prime Blood Brothers.
Blood Brothers. Yep. Thumped him. Absolutely thumped him. And then we played roles reversed. I played his Short Kings and he played with his Eldar.
Yep.
Hive Fleets.
Yeah, High Elf
Fleet. That's the one.
Yeah.
And I got thumped that time.
Okay. So yeah, Short King's bad.
No, maybe that's the consensus. Maybe it's just elite armies are just OP.
Especially at that 1,000 points.
Yeah, I think they're struggling to balance that.
Did you play sticky?
Yes.
Both times? Yeah, 2.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Also.
Yeah. The second time we kind of got stitched up because we played like...
You both got stitched up. Who stitched you up
I
then?
got stitched up by Griddy.
All right, there you go.
No, we weren't playing like long and long. We're playing the short sides of a board.
Yeah, Hammer and Anvil.
Hammer and Anvil, and I just couldn't make the distance. Short Kings being slow.
Right.
8 inches on the rush.
Yeah.
Wasn't covering ground.
Right, okay. That's interesting. Maybe that's why they're struggling.
I don't think it would have changed it, but it was definitely
Makes
noticeable.
a difference. Yeah. Yeah, especially if you're talking about getting to that center objective.
Yeah.
And you can't.
No.
Because you got little legs. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, it was just heaps of games.
It's
More games
good.
than I expected.
And you were saying it's made you really confident with the rules of one-page rules.
Yeah.
Because there's only one page of them.
That's it.
In theory.
Well, several pages.
And now you've expanded out and you're exploring some of the additional stuff.
Yeah. Again, we didn't even touch the advanced rules this weekend.
Yeah.
But been flicking through them the last couple of days. Pretty keen to get some battle reports in with those advanced rules too.
Yeah.
So
it was also encouraging to hear. I don't know about Rad, but Griddy primarily after a couple games, or even after the first game, he was like, "Yeah, I already love one-page rules. I'm going to be playing this a lot."
Yep, I think Rad enjoyed it as well.
Yeah,
and like we barely even scraped the surface.
Yeah, that's it.
So there's so much more to it. I just feel like just the easy, like the list builder makes it so easy.
Oh yeah,
quick games, simple rule set. Doesn't need to be too complicated.
And I think Griddy asked me, like, he asked something about one-page rules, like, oh, should I play it? And I think for people like Griddy, so if you've got lots of different armies and you're only going to be playing them once every few months, those are the perfect armies for one-page rules.
Yeah.
It's the game for people who don't play frequently
Yep.
or who have so many armies that they can't play
learn all of
them
them.
frequently.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to pick up that. Imagine how that weekend looks if we're all there trying to learn our war gear and our relics and our
Yep.
special and stratagems and all that kind of extra stuff,
Yeah.
which make for an amazing game if you know those rules.
Yep.
And then make sure you update a list and confining. Anyway, so yeah, the ability to just like pick something off the shelf,
Yep.
make a list with it,
Yeah.
be throwing down in half an hour, play for an hour, go, yeah, sweet. Now I'm going to swap this out, try this other thing, put it all on my phone, load it back up, let's go.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's actually funny how you mentioned earlier about Griddy and his WYSIWYG mentality, because like we were playing our game and when I was playing the dwarves, he's like, oh, he's got that melee weapon. I'm like, yeah, I didn't give it to him.
He would have hated
He's just
that.
got quite, and I could tell he's just like, oh, okay.
Crosses you off the list.
Yeah, inside.
List of homies is just everyone who didn't bring WYSIWYG is crossed off.
Yeah, rad. Me.
Fox brought Kroot, but he used jackals, and it's...
Circle it for now.
And you know what? It was very rough with my Kroot. I'll cross him off.
Yeah. But like, you know, and then, yeah, you've got the option of building it WYSIWYG, or you can build it sort of how you want to experiment. You can be like, okay, he's modeled with an axe, but maybe I want to give him a different melee weapon this time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And actually something they're doing in 10th is consolidating a lot of weapons like that. 10th
Okay.
edition 40k.
Yep.
I don't know what I thought of that, but it's not a power fist. It's not a power sword.
Yep.
It looks like it's just a power weapon.
Okay. All right.
So, which is really good for people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get a lot more creativity when you're not, you put a power fist because that was good when you built it a year ago.
Yep.
But now it's garbage. It's okay. You can still bring it. It's just a power weapon.
Power weapon. So
Yeah.
it's like a flat rule set, you know, plus whatever strength, this much AP, this much damage.
Yeah.
Whether it's an axe, a sword, a fist.
Yeah. That's what it looks like. I don't know if that's just something that's going to be the start of the edition when they do indexes.
Maybe.
But it looks like it's going to be a thing. That's
Yep.
that's what it looks like is happening.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Cool.
So, yeah, anyways. That's that.
Well, just a bit of a ramble from us today. And yeah, thank you for joining. Massive thank you to our patrons. Without you guys, all this wouldn't be possible. So big shout out to Burnsy, Final Dinosaur, Lethal, Gridlock, Axe, Anax, MJ, Whack the Ewok, Test, and Black Apollo.
And we got Moose, Elko, Churchy. Thanks, Churchy. Keep streaming live. That's awesome. Rad Rooster, Ollie, Hockers, Penny, Aggro, Don Hua Don, and
Big Roach.
yeah, baited you there.
You did. You got me so.
Gotcha.
At the start, I'm like, oh, I'm solo on this.
I'm on my own. I'm gonna have to. You faded off, and then you came back in strong. You're like, Big Roach.
Also, shout out to Pure Blind. We haven't updated the list yet.
Oh yeah, Pure Blind. Thank you.
got
You've
you,
been
dude.
active in the Discord.
Hell yeah.
It's awesome to see all of your stuffs.
Yep.
We appreciate you and all the other homies that are in the Discord. Thank you. It's
Thank you
awesome
so
to
much.
just like scroll through there and just get lost in hobby. That's my favorite thing about it.
Yep.
Life is crazy. You just go, let's turn off life for a second and turn on the Discord.
Turn on hobby.
Just be like, see what people are doing. So
Yep.
thank you all so much. That's awesome.
Yep. If you can, check out our new channel, which where our battle reports will be, along with vlogs and other sorts. There's a link in the description. And hobbyhomies.com for links to all the other stuff, like the Discord and all the other streaming platforms are on.
Brilliant.
Hooroo.
Hooroo.
Woo! Big up to the boys, Fox and Shane. Set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50-50, we cold as ice. One thing cold, but a penny turn red. Can't let